Is Mike? What's up?
All right, hey people.
All
Sorry
right, all
for
right.
the delay
I'm
here.
I'm
We
on the
are
live. I'm on the live right now.
we are here
Hi,
tonight with the OG
Mr. Babbitt.
Open Chat, and
All right.
in this particular chat, we
Well,
say
hey, I don't.
say and
I
do
call
what we
you
want
back,
to
but
do.
yours go straight to recording. So hey.
Mute
Well,
yourself, J3.
All right. All right. I'll get you right after this video. I mean,
Miss Shirley,
huh.
Miss
Mute
Shirley
yourself.
said she didn't want everybody on the live to hear your conversation.
Y'all heard my conversation?
Yeah,
Yes.
and we all
Dog, I thought I just.
now you didn't.
No.
I I muted me. I didn't muted me. I didn't mute y'all. I muted me.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
Happy Mac. I'm sorry. I'm just messing up tonight. Resilient Dad. Hey, we just
Hey.
messing. I'm just messing up tonight. I'm trying to make this screen so you guys can see us, and we wasn't even live.
Yeah, a little
So
technical difficulty tonight.
we got all kind of technical problems. Hey, my Renaissance grandma, we got all kind of problems tonight. But like I said, tonight is welcome to the OG Open Chat, where we say and do what we want to do and don't care about you getting mad. But
No, my mute ain't even coming up.
anyway, say what, Jet?
I was saying I was pressing the button for my mute. It wouldn't come up. And then I had to touch the screen for it to come up.
Okay. But
Bama, she said that link you dropped in there, do she need to add anything to it?
just put the StreamYard in front of it, StreamYard.com,
Okay. Thank you.
and then put that code behind it. Yeah, Happy Mac, we're here.
Yeah, happy, Matt. Get happy. We here. We here, happy. Get happy.
Well, I don't want you to.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get this together here.
That's okay
That's
because
all right, Miss Shirley. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get some stuff together myself. Trying to get all this stuff together, but it don't seem like it's working too good for me.
Yeah,
But
sometimes technology is not all it's cracked up to be.
well, you're so right about that because it let me on StreamYard real quick and happy, real quick. But then after I got on there, it just froze me. You reckon they want me to stop this free streaming?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want some of your money.
They
We
can't
want
make
some of
no
your
money
money.
on you.
That might be why they're freezing me up. Yeah, I didn't want to admit it, but
Well, at one time it was
Hard to
messing up on me like that too, and then they
yeah,
start putting the ad in talking about paying this and paying that. I still hit free.
yeah,
JD
yeah.
DJ Ron, welcome in.
Hey, Ron,
Hey,
I
Ron.
miss you guys at the Sawfest, Ron.
So sister, what's up? How you doing?
Saw sis. Hey, how you doing,
Mike,
Saw
Mike, Mike,
sis?
Mike, Mike. I didn't say hi to you, Mike. Sorry about that. We just trying to get a little technical difficulty straightened out.
Hey,
Well,
Mike.
it was good to see you, Saw sister, at the Sawfest.
Mm-hmm.
Real good to see you. But we was trying to wait on just a few more people to get in. And then, like I said, this is the open mic with the OGs tonight. So we talk about what we want to talk about.
Excuse me. I hate to be a Budinsky here, but she said she tried it and it's still not working. Is there any way you can type out the whole thing?
Tell her to email me.
Tell her to email Jen.
Have your email?
J3GSfarm at Gmail. J3GS Farms. No S on farm.
Wait a minute. J T S.
TJ
No
Renaissance.
S. No S.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
Well, Happy Mac, you should have been on board with Saul's sister and came on down there with the fest with her. Well, Ron, I'm glad that you're growing something, but you're in a warmer zone than I am.
He on the cold side of Georgia.
Is he?
Yeah, he on the cold side of Georgia. Francesca, welcome in. How you doing?
Hey, Francesca. Yeah, I know you all spoiled, Saul's sister. 85, and then you probably went back to that cold weather. And it has been cold here.
Okay, she's emailing you, J3.
Right.
It has been cold here in South Carolina.
It's
Yeah.
cold here in Ohio. Someone says we're going to get a reprieve. It's going to actually get up to 63 degrees. Woohoo!
Well, the only thing about that, sis, is sort of like we got real warm weather early part of the day. Then all of a sudden it just went down to the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, my tulips is trying to push up. I got hyacinths that's blooming, and then it'll drop down to 32 to 27 degrees at night. And then I come out, my flowers is all doing like this here, got hit by that cold. So I hope it don't do my fruit trees the same way, warm up and they start to blossom and then get hit with another freeze.
Mike said it's 63 outside.
63? Where Mike is at?
Where Mike
in
is
Minnesota?
At.
Right.
He said 63 outside and 82 in the house where he at.
Cheryl Norris, welcome in. How you doing?
Hey, Cheryl.
But
she text you, Jay?
Yes, I sent it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, Francesca says 50 degrees where she's at. So,
boy, y'all making me cold.
Yeah, her and Mike is right there pretty close together. Well,
there she goes.
There
she was.
No, there she is.
There she goes.
Hey, PC.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for your patience. I am so bad with technology. It is no joke. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Miss Shirley, Bammit, and Jags.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
Hey, you don't have to thank me because I know how technology is. Hey, Tag, how you doing? I'm Larry Gardner.
Hey, Tag.
But I've been battling with this thing for the last 2 weeks, and I thought it was a computer. I took this thing to the shop, getting ready to buy me a new computer, and the guy told me it's not the computer. He said there's nothing wrong with it.
What is it, the Wi-Fi?
I think it's the Wi-Fi.
He said either it's human error or it's the Wi-Fi. I said, well, it could be both. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Humphrey, how you doing tonight? We got a few things that we're going to talk about, but first we're trying to let some more people come into the house, PC. And you all have to understand that I called the Presbyterian Gardener, PC, because that first name is a little tongue twisting to me. So
right. It's okay. I understand.
Hey, as long as she good with it, hey.
Hey, Sylvia.
I love it.
But I can say PC and then I'm through with it. I got to try to twist the rest of that up. Miss Lawrence, how you doing?
Hey, Lynette.
Hey.
Hey,
everybody.
Hey, we are kind of difficult with computers now.
Yeah. I just be glad mine turned on. Be truthful about it, because I don't know where it's going once I turn it on.
Well, in my younger days, you really you just had a typewriter, and then they finally got an ad machine. So,
Yep.
and then the computer came really after I got in the military. That's when I first found I really had hands on.
Yeah.
I didn't find out about them, but I knew they was out. But I had first hands on when I was in the military, and not that much of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely new to me, also.
Yeah.
No, I got D-Base, and I think I was in high school when they came out with D-Base.
Mhm.
That was most definitely difficult.
Well, let me tell you, I come from the era where we used 2 sheets of carbon paper.
Yeah. We did that too. We did that.
They don't even sell carbon paper anymore. I don't even think they sell
Yeah,
carbon paper
and
anymore.
you had to print real hard to afford to go through the other 2 copies. Then it
Mhm.
Hey, Cropper.
start all over again, And we had
Yes,
rotary
yes.
dial phones on our desk to answer.
Mhm.
And the only people that had electronics was the doctors at the time because they had beepers, And that's
Right.
where everybody started getting what they call them, Blackberries, all them other phones and
Yeah.
stuff before they came out. So
Kato's family, PIA. How you guys doing?
yeah.
And the Cropper is definitely in the house.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I really seen it, the evolution of cell phones and computers up to this day. I really seen it, the evolution. Oh, okay. So yeah. Hey Cropper, what's up?
Cheryl
Yeah.
says,
PIA.
oh, F.R. Humphrey said, I had a bag phone. I remember those.
I still
Yeah.
got
It was
one.
big.
I still got one hanging out there in my
What?
garage. Yeah, in
Yeah.
my garage. Sure do.
Good for
I
you.
used to have one.
Yeah, I still got one. And then when my mom was living, when it first came out, they had the big ones,
Yeah.
Right.
big solid
Mhm.
ones.
Mhm.
And I got her one of those, and I had the little flip.
A little bigger than a brick. It was
Yeah.
a little black
Okay.
and a little bigger than a brick.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, do y'all remember when you had the wall phone and you had a cord that was about 1,000 feet long?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Go through the whole house.
Man, I remember, okay, I was like a teenager, and in my house, it was 4 girls. And so we were like, Dad, we need a longer cord. He was like, nah. Finally, we got the longer cord because we'd be on the phone, we'd be in the closet talking in the phone, he didn't want to hear us. Finally, he got the long cord. We were so happy. I mean, it was like a novelty to have that super long cord. Now, cell phones go anywhere.
But
Now,
wasn't
my dad had
wasn't the phone in the kitchen?
Yes.
The phone was in the
Up on the
kitchen, but you go
wall.
all over the house with the phone.
That's right. That's right.
Mike
my
said
dad
he got.
had a phone in
Mike
the
said he got
My dad
whippings with
had a
those long
phone in the
cords.
bathroom 'cause he
Oh
didn't want
wow.
to be
He got tore up.
You got a phone between the sink and the toilet in the bathroom, and then used to trip out everybody when they went in the bathroom. They come out, they said, "Is that a phone in the bathroom?" Yeah, my dad didn't want to be disturbed. If he went in the bathroom and shut the door, you better not bother him.
Hey, but now everybody got televisions in every room, the bathroom,
Yeah,
in the closet.
In the
Yeah.
kitchen.
in the kitchen, in the basement, in the laundry room. They even got
And-
waterproof ones that go outside on the patio.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And the bad thing about it, if you ain't got no little kids here, I got 5 TVs in here, and this one don't never come on unless the whole family is here.
Okay.
The one in my bedroom comes on when I get tired or whatever. I go to YouTube in there. One in the living room, that's very seldom on.
Kato family.
One in my grandson room, he don't even turn on because he's on the computer.
Okay. Yeah.
Kato family said he got to go back to the bushes. So, like I said, I'm glad he showed
Kato
up.
family. All right.
Appreciate him coming.
Yeah. Thank you for
I
stopping.
like Happy Mac's comment. Yes, it would get all twisted and knotted up. Avocado green phone. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We had the harvest yellow.
Okay.
gold or whatever color you want.
Harvest gold.
Well, we really like I said, on this channel here, we talk about what we want to talk about. And that's just the way it is.
Now, okay, I got one for you. What about the appliances? I, within the last 10 years, finally got rid of
Okay, Kato.
the stove that I had for 40 years. And the
Oh,
only
wow.
reason I had to get rid of it is because they actually stopped making parts for it about 20 years ago. It took 4 guys to take the old stove out. When I bought the new one and they asked me, did I have any special instructions for removal? I told them, yeah. I said, send at least 4 guys. It's an older stove. They thought I was lying. When the other 2 came up, I said, don't bring the new one up until you take the old one out. And I had moved everything to the side so they had plenty of room to get out of the kitchen through the house. And the guy came up, he took one look at the stove and he shook his head. He said, man, we can't pick this up. I said, I told y'all special instructions. I was like, it's going to take 4 of y'all because that's how heavy duty they made stoves back in the day.
It was like a car steal.
Yeah.
Made of steel.
I got heavy duty stove. I got the avocado green refrigerator and stove.
Yep.
And I had that bad boy for 40 years. My son went through high school. I didn't have plenty of parties at my house and stuff. That stove cooked forever. Like I said, they quit making the parts 20 years ago. So they couldn't even fix it. So I had to get rid of it. But it was so funny though, because they had to wait and 2 more guys showed up and they almost couldn't do it because I didn't think they really knew how to angle it. I said, if you put a hole in the wall, y'all gonna fix it, trying to get it down the stairs, But they finally got it out. And they was like, hey, you wasn't lying. I was like, I tried to tell your boss that don't send no 2 guys. I didn't want y'all to end up with hernias trying to take this stove apart.
Well, back during that time, they really made stuff to last. You got quality, but now they're doing quantity.
Yeah,
exactly. They
make no money if it lasts.
Growing up, my mom always had plastic on her sofa because she said, I don't want your girl to get it messed up. Now, here's the crazy thing. We couldn't even sit in my mom's living room anyway, so I don't know why she had the plastic. But anyway,
every black family had plastic. Every black family.
Yes, when we moved into that house, my dad told us we leaving this apartment. I'm buying a house because you girls need a backyard. So when we moved in the house, I was in the 2nd grade. So I must have been 7 or 8. That plastic stayed on my mother's sofa until my mom and dad moved to Charlotte 10 years ago. No joke. So we finally said, my mother said, take that plastic off the sofa. We was like, what? She was like, take it off. Y'all not little no more. We like, Mom, we been grown. She said, I know, take it off. We took it off. There was literally nothing wrong with that plastic. My dad said things were made differently back then. Jewish guy, he said a Jewish guy made these plastics for sofas and chairs, and he guaranteed his work. Nowadays, they don't want to give you no guarantee. They don't want to. If they do, a lot of times they look for a little loophole. So, but that plastic, it lasted. It was nothing wrong with it except it had turned a little yellow.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was fine.
Yeah, she and Sunshine said it was their front room was like a museum.
It was. Yeah. You weren't allowed to go in there until
I agree.
You had company. Yep. You weren't allowed in there until you had company. Yep. That's the only time you was going in there.
And the first thing they ask you, what you doing in that living room?
Yeah. What you doing, girl? You better get out. Oh, I'm coming out. I'm coming out.
Yeah, the refrigerators was made just as heavy duty too. I got a new refrigerator because when the guy came to check the old one, that was still that avocado green. He said it was no longer energy efficient, and that's how put up the refrigerator. Because that thing, and it took 4 people to take that out of there. It took me 2 days to clean out that bad boy and say I wasn't gonna send out no nasty refrigerator. I cleaned that bad boy, looked like it was brand new. but it is
Mhm.
beauty though. It is.
Okay, Mike. But you have to nowadays they want you to buy a warranty.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You're buying a warranty, you paying for the thing if something do happen to it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I mean?
Exactly.
And then sometimes they want to give you a hard time about that warranty. They be like,
Yes.
sure, something
Yes.
wrong with it. I was like, oh,
Let me
let's
tell y'all,
do that.
I have a Samsung stove, you know, the Wi-Fi, the this, the that. I could be somewhere and remotely start my stove to
Shut your
preheat.
mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yes, sir. So about 3 weeks ago, I said, wait, what's wrong with this burner? Burner wasn't getting hot. We called the warranty. They came out. They said, well, the guy said they're gonna we're gonna get a part and the company tells me we'll come back, we'll put it in. The company contacts my husband. Long story made short, they said, well, that's an older stove. I thought my stove is 2 years old, but it's considered old now. And so they decided we'll give you the money to get a new stove. You know how much some people gave me? $300 and something.
No, you must got the same insurance I got.
I called them back and I said, listen, there's no way I can get a stove for $333.
Yeah.
She said, okay, well, we'll take a look. Long story made short, I ended up with $433. What? This is a warranty my husband pays for every month. So go figure.
well,
Go
you're right.
figure.
See, in Sunshine, they don't make stuff like they used to.
Yeah.
Right.
No, they
And
don't.
that's to say it, a lot of people throw away a lot of good stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna throw this a little bit in there. It's something I saw on YouTube, and this fella he said, let's play a game real quick. It's a short game. He said, look in your house and tell me everything that was made in China. And I'm gonna tell you everything that's made in my house from the US of A. He said nothing.
Nothing.
And if you look in your house right now,
Well, I know.
95% of stuff you got in your house came from over there.
And that's why China don't care nothing about US of A right now.
Hey,
Hey, G Mama Girl.
Hey, G
Ted, you're
Mama.
right. They don't care. If you got one burner, that's all they want to work anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, what? I was thinking they thought maybe it was like a stove top. You know, they have those toppers, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh, they made a mistake. No, not at all. So I said, oh well.
That's
It is
why
what it
I
is.
love my gas stove. You couldn't pay me to have an electric stove would be a deal breaker for me if I had to move out this house. I'm sorry. I can't do electric. My granddaughter got electric and it almost burnt dinner the first night because I wasn't used to how fast it heats up and it's still hot once you turn it off. But she got a smart stove that the light stays on to let you know that the burner is still hot and it doesn't go out until the burner cools down. I was like, oh,
Like my stove. Mm-hmm.
Happy Mike says she do drive-by shopping. She drive by the curve, and if it looks good, it's going home with it.
oh yeah. Yep.
Listen though, I don't blame her because there's an area where I live, not too far from where I live, called the Landings. The houses are $1 million homes. So there was this lady, Miss Margiotti. You know how sometimes the arm of your sofa may get a little dirty?
Mm.
Well, she threw out the whole set because the arm on one of the chairs was dirty. The whole set. There was nothing wrong with it. That was the only thing that was a little dirty. Somebody had something on their arm and they put it there. She threw it out and got a new one.
They got it like that, I guess.
you
I
know
guess
what?
so.
When I was stationed in Germany, I like people like that.
I know that's right.
They have to pay. They have to pay all the time for everything in their house. They got to pay taxes. I think like every month, every other month, something like that. So they could buy a brand new set. This is January. By March, it'll be out there on the road.
Wow.
And yeah, because they have to pay taxes on everything. Man, I used to love it. I go pick up trunks and furniture and all that stuff. I had a Mercedes in my basement, and my wife, I went to the field. She had all my stuff cleaned up out of there. She didn't know the value of anything. She didn't know no value.
Oh,
I had a Singer sewing machine that came from the 1800s.
Well, we
Oh,
talk
no.
we talk about anything we want on this channel, but we don't be beating up no wives on here.
Oh,
You're not gonna get me in
nah,
No,
Batman.
no.
I ain't doing that now. I'm just. She was young. She was young and everything.
wow.
But I knew about antiques and stuff. She didn't know nothing about
Oh,
antiques.
wow.
And my basement was full. And I came home after what I think it was like 15 or 20 days in the field. She didn't have nothing to do in the apartment, so she decided to clean up the laundry room. Our laundry room was in the basement. Man, she came down there. Man, I had so much money down there.
She had no idea
She had no idea.
what stuff was worth. Because
And
my mom
after,
used to take us to the west side, to the ritzy part in the neighborhood. They had a Salvation Army over there that the rich folks, if they bought certain customized stuff and they didn't like it, they just give the whole thing to the Salvation Army.
Yep.
Mhm.
Over there. And she got brand new bunk beds for my brothers. And it still had the price tag on them. She didn't like the color.
Mhm.
And she
So-
just gave them to the Salvation Army. And my mom snatched them bad boys real quick. We had what do you call it, bedspread on top of the hood of the car. I had them bad boys tied down, had the windows down, and had a child on each side holding them down while we drive home.
Mhm.
Sunshine, that wasn't hoarding. She got rid of some money.
Yeah.
She just didn't know it. She just didn't know it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you how bad it was. I went to the thrift shop and I saw this beauty. It was a striped shirt like this, but it was blue and white. I said, "Man, that shirt looks so good." I said, "I'm getting that." I paid $5 for the shirt, and when I held the shirt up and look at it good, it was my shirt.
Oh wow.
It was a shirt. It was a shirt I bought in Korea. And what it is, when you send your clothes out to get washing and stuff, out of she take and put your number on the bottom of the shirt where the tag at. They sew your number and everything right there. I was looking at the shirt, talking about how good it looked, and find out I paid $5 for my own shirt.
Wow.
And no, I am not. I would not do nothing wrong to that lady in there, other than taking my checkbook out of her hand.
You know,
But you know what? When we bought the bedroom
Ooh.
set, everything came with it. You know, the frame, the box springs, the tops, the mattress, you know, the whole 9 yards. Now everything is a separate piece, got a cost on it. Headboard is separate, the footboard is separate.
Yep.
If it got mattresses, they are separate. You're
I want your money.
Well, we used to pay for a whole bedroom set, including a chest and a long dresser, and maybe even 2 side tables. Now you paying that price for one item.
Exactly.
yeah,
Francesca made a good point.
I had a friend that he furnished his whole apartment with stuff that, like Happy Max said, doing the drive-by.
Mhm.
Got off the curve. And let me tell you something, people. The majority of this stuff wasn't a thing wrong with it. Might have just a little ding on it,
Yeah.
a little scratch or something on it. But
They got rid of it.
Yeah, you walked into his apartment and you would have swore it was uptown first class. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it was good looking stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what
Francesca in the chat said the local landfill here, you can actually find brand new appliances all for free because they were dented on delivery and the person threw it out. So when
Yeah.
she said landfill, it made me think. Before my husband, well, he drove the 18-wheelers and he stopped for a while and he worked for a company that dumped at the landfill. And there would be days where the guys would hop out their truck because it was good stuff. They had threw away microwaves. The company had them throw away brand new in-box microwave. There were bikes that they threw away. There were toys that they threw away. It was surplus. Now, they say, it's supposed to go into the landfill. But my thing is, couldn't you have donated to somebody, the underprivileged? The company makes them throw it away.
They don't want to do that.
That off though. They can write that off on their taxes as a loss though. They gonna get the money back for it.
And they'll take it straight to the dump rather than just giving it to people donating.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's crazy.
Crazy.
It's really crazy because now you'd be surprised. We saw a truck take a truckload of produce from one of the known grocery stores now, and take it straight to this dump, which was just a field, and dump the whole entire thing. And a lot of it was still in crates and all this kind of stuff. I mean, fresh produce.
Yeah.
But rather than give it to somebody, they take it and dump it and bury it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is insane.
It is. It really is. It makes no sense. I remember years ago, let me just say I was much younger. I saw that Walmart was throwing away a bunch of stuff, and it was a bunch of people. We just got up on the side of the dumpster, and we was just taking it out. I mean, shoes, bags.
I remember them days.
A whole bunch of stuff, and we're like, people can use this.
There
are people in need that can use this. And then next thing we know, we started doing it. And I noticed like a few months later, they had a fence around it.
Yes.
So you couldn't do it. I said, oh, well.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They would do that. And Francesca said, when her husband say something about going to the dump, everybody holler, can we go? So,
I love diving. I got a jumpsuit and some old raggedy tennis shoes. I put my do-rag on and a cap. I dumpster dive in a heartbeat. When they built this development up the street from me, I used to ride past there and I'd be watching the supplies they have out there. Then one day I rode by and I didn't see it anymore. And I was like, I know they didn't use all this stuff because they had finished the last condo. So I drove up in there because they didn't have it gated off or fenced in. And I went over to the dumpster. They threw all that stuff in the dumpster. I backed my car up and popped the back in. It took me about 2 hours. They had brand new bricks, never been used, clean as a whistle. I still got them bricks. I loaded up, took 2-3 trips, and I got every single one of them bricks out that dumpster.
Oh, that's right.
Cheryl Norris, I can tell you about Wally World. I was in Dublin. They had over 20-something trees pushed to the back, and I was trying my best. I talked to 2 different managers, talked to some salespeople and everything. I was trying to buy it all for the low. They refused to sell it because they were throwing it in the dump.
Yeah. And now there's a dumpster behind one of my favorite supermarkets that's not far from here. In the evening, if you they know when that last person leaves, you can go in there and find all the old bananas and cabbage and stuff that they didn't want to put on a day old rack and clean up. And I used to do all that stuff and bring it home and make my super juice and stuff up out of it. But then they got hip to it too, and they put a lock on the dumpster at night. So yeah.
Yeah, I hate when they do that.
Miss Lawrence, you are so right about that. You know, they much rather throw stuff away than to give it to the people that really need it.
Hey, Mama Groves, how you doing?
And you think they can take it to the shelters, you know, where the homeless is at, so that they could eat. They can make, how they say, the soup kitchens. I'm quite sure they can make, you know, some heck of a meals. Out of stuff you don't want.
That could still be a write-off.
Yeah,
exactly.
I had a friend of mine that that was one of her things that she did every day. She went to these food banks and collected this food.
I know how you feel, sir.
And gave it to people that needed it, that really needed it.
Yeah.
But then they stopped her from getting anything. And they told her that they weren't allowed to give it anymore. But they can go to the dumpster and throw it in the back of the dumpster.
Yeah.
See?
You know, it makes
and there's
sense.
so many needy people. Like where I'm at, we do have a lot of homeless. There was Tent City under this bridge, and they kicked them out, put a fence around. So now on the other side of town, you see a lot of homeless. Well, I remember one time I was at a repast and there was a ton of food left, and I was helping serve, and they said, just throw it away, get rid of it if y'all don't want it. So people took what they wanted, and then they said, just throw the rest away. I was like, no, y'all give me them to-go boxes. I don't care what you put in it. The back of my RAV4 was full of to-go boxes. I just drove to the local square, opened up my trunk, and told them to come get it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those people were so grateful. There's one guy who was
No, they
homeless.
was.
He's not homeless anymore, and he always say, I remember a long time ago, you came and gave everybody that food. Thank you.
Yeah.
So they need it. They can use it. Why get rid of it? It's so selfish and senseless to me.
But then they had a nerve to talk about the homeless. And like they said,
Hey,
not
Marie.
everybody that's homeless want to be homeless, and not all of them are bums or
Right.
have, you know, other issues, you know. So
The saddest thing was a guy that was homeless, and I was talking to him, and he was just saying, I'm not right today. I'm not right today. In here. I feel like I'm back. Someone else told me he was in the war.
And
So
that
he's
says a lot.
not right.
PTSD.
So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. He needs help.
Yeah.
Not someone to
But
scorn
he
or
can't get
shame
the
him.
help that he need. He can't get the help that he need.
No,
Number
he
one,
can't.
the people before me that got out and stuff, a lot of the service members did wrong, and even coming along now, they make it hard for you to get what you deserve.
Yeah.
Wow,
And-
that's
and
a
a lot-
shame.
Now, my brother, he served in the military too. He was in the Air Force. He refused to go get the military service, the veteran services.
Yeah.
I told him, just sit there and wait. Nope. He refused to do it.
Yeah, my girlfriend had to divorce her husband because he came back shell shot, and somebody dropped something one day in the house, and she thought he was going to take out everybody in the house, and she said, "You can't stay here." And my cousin, when he came back, my aunt had to take a stick and poke at the bottom of his feet to wake him up because he almost choked her to death one time when she walked up on him. You know, so I mean, they're trained for this. You know, I mean, it's not their fault. They're trained for this. But I'm just saying how the military have changed, you know, generations and generations of men, and now they don't want to take care of them. And I'm just like, it's sad because I used to be a caseworker for the county, and I actually worked with the homeless, and I had congressmen, I've had senators who let that alcohol and politics get to their heads. And I had soldiers who came through there with PTSD. You know, I actually had to get up and run from my desk once because he just flipped. And we had to get security to take him out. He had on with the combat boots, and he had like a 9-inch blade down in his boot. You know,
Ooh.
Homestead Rachel, welcome in.
So yeah, I it's the way that they treat veterans is heartbreaking, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know.
I love your comment, ARD. You said we are all people first, and that's how I feel.
Right.
I'm not
That's
gonna
right.
look at nobody. I'm not gonna put my nose up to somebody that's homeless.
Yeah.
First of all, according to statistics, they say that the majority of people are 3 paychecks away from being homeless.
True.
The second thing is you don't know anybody's circumstance. Like
Right.
the guy who was homeless, he said he had to be homeless. He's legally blind. He said he had to be homeless in order to get housing.
Yeah.
They told him that. So he had to leave where he was at to go be in a shelter. Nobody really wants to be in a shelter. It's not the best situation. So my thing is, we don't know a person's situation. I know some people take advantage of people's kindness, but I feel like this. If I have, I'm gonna share. If they're taking advantage and they happen to get a few dollars off of me, I'll leave that to their conscience.
It'll come
The
back.
ones that really
That's
need
right.
it, I'll feel good that they got help. That I
Yeah.
could have enough to say, here. You know, my dad said, keep your hand open. Don't be so stingy with it.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do.
Well, it's just like
People first.
Sylvia said a few minutes ago, they try to make it illegal to be homeless. Well, I mean,
What?
yeah, that part, you know. I mean, if
On. Are you
you're
kidding
gonna
me?
make it illegal to be homeless, then you need to provide somewhere for them to stay.
Yeah.
You know what? I have this theory, and it's just a theory. It's just something I think of sometimes when I see people and I feel bad. I feel like they need to, especially here, because there's going to be a big problem. They need to have someone to interview these people and see what their situation is. What help do you need, and what can we do? Because we got a lot of empty buildings that you could say, okay, we're gonna let you guys move into these buildings. You used to be a carpenter. You used to work in an
Exactly.
office.
I was
You
gonna
used
say
to
that.
be here.
Which
We're gonna
is-
work together,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get this building looking right.
Right.
Okay, y'all got free electricity for right now and free Wi-Fi because we want to help you get on your feet. But in turn, you have to work. You're gonna have to work to keep it up. You're gonna have to work to help the people coming in. People donate stuff all the time. Let them have it for free. Another thing, stop giving it to Goodwill. How am I going to take a 10-gallon fish tank that I no longer want, give it to Goodwill? I come back and I see us selling it for $20. Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I only paid $9.99 for it and only got rid of it because I got a bigger tank. What are y'all doing? Is that Goodwill? Is that really Goodwill? I
It's
don't
not
think so.
Goodwill.
I don't think so. Y'all claim to help people, help them.
Yeah.
Help them. That will give them a sense of pride.
I guarantee that.
I like that statement Tag made a few minutes ago about the veterans have to fight a different war, different type battle. And
Yeah.
she's so right about it.
That's a fact.
Illegal
sad
to
to
be
me.
homeless, illegal to live in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us what to do exactly. It's crazy.
Well, I really didn't plan on getting on this subject tonight, but I'm so glad we did.
Yeah.
And after we normally don't have mystery guests on our overnight chat with the OGs, but I had to have PC on tonight. I really did, because after that speak that she made at the Soul Fest.
Soul Family,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it just did something to me, and I had to have her on tonight. And not only that, PC also do you do the herbal type. Yeah, tell us a little something about that before we get on this other subject.
With herbs, I have found that for me, on a personal level, it's so much better than taking something prescription. I know some people have to, but I'm learning and have learned so much, and I plan on continue learning about it. So the first thing is that I years ago had a thyroid problem, and I started taking natural herbs, and my thyroid is under control. I had a problem with kidney stones. When I have kidney stones, I am prone to kidney stones. I don't know why, but I help shrink them with a natural method using castor oil.
Welcome in.
I use castor oil. I don't put it in my belly button like some people do. What I do is I take 100% cotton, soak it with the castor oil, but it must be hexane-free castor oil. I put it on my stomach. I put a piece of plastic, and then I put the heating pad, and I sit. I do this maybe 30 minutes, and after a while, I know my body well. And that's one thing I encourage everybody to do. Know your body. Know what your feelings are. Write it down. Do a journal. Jot it. Whether you're going to do it in your phone, whether you're going to do it in a notebook. And then you can jot down how you're feeling, and you can see for yourself, is it working? For me, I know what it feels like when I have kidney stones. I know my body. So I say, okay, time to start those treatments. Within a week, sometimes a little bit longer, depending upon size, they will shrink. And yes, kidney stones are literally stones, y'all, that it just calcifies and it comes out like a stone. And that's the first time was really creepy to me, to go to the bathroom, and you can use a screen. I don't want to seem gross, but a screen, so that when you urinate, the stone will pop out. and it won't go down the toilet. Then I first would take that to the doctor. He checks it, whatever. Okay, I do it myself now. It is literally a stone. I have not gone back to the doctor. I do this myself, and they do shrink and they do come out. Another thing is the bug repellent. I make a natural bug repellent. Guys, I was not liking the commercial stuff. I always would feel like I was so sticky and itchy, and I don't know. I just didn't like it. So I started making natural bug repellent. Just testing it. I put one on this arm that I test, one on that arm. Okay, what's going to happen? Yep, I was guinea pig. Boom. This formula works better. Okay, scratch that one. Let me tweak it some more. Once I get it, then I send it out to my friends. Y'all need to be honest with me. Don't lie to me, because I'm going to be selling this, and I need to have a solid base that this works. Do not lie to me. Tell me. Okay. I had one formula. I revamped it because the first formula was oily. They said, listen, we don't like it. It works perfectly, but a lot of people came back and said, it may get on my clothes. It's very oily on my hands. So I came up with a new formula. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I'm in for natural stuff. I did not know that. Mr. Butler, if I'm talking too much, just tell me.
No, you do it fine. You do it fine.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. This is what I wanted to hear more of, is because of the simple reason I can't say the young folks, but the people younger than me don't realize they think everything that cure you or help our people before now came from the drugstore, from the pharmacy, or from the doctor.
No.
That's bull. Because everything came from nature itself.
That's
yes.
right.
We had grandparents and great grandparents, and that cured us with what they had.
That's right.
What they had in the woods.
Right.
I don't know whether you guys know or not, but my grandma had a tree, an oak tree, with a red clay bank on it. And she used to get us to go and bring her that red clay off and on that tree. Now, what she didn't chew, she made something out of it. I don't know what it was, but I wish I did. But that was one of the healthiest ladies I've ever seen in my life.
Right. Exactly.
And you don't need all this medication, because everything that you look at, it tell you that it might have this side effect, or this might have that side effect. But we didn't have side effects back when grandma and great grandma and granny was taking care of, and auntie.
Not at all.
You know?
Not at all. Nowadays.
So what you saying is fine, PC. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me tell you. So I am a firm believer of that. Now, I love what you said, because it makes me think about something. Not taking natural medicine does take a little bit longer, but that's why you know your body, so that you'll know, oh, I'm feeling this way. Let me start doing this. Let me start sipping this. Let me start doing that. And it kicks in. It also, not only does it help you feel better, but it teaches you patience. You need to learn to be patient. People today want instant gratification. So they pop that pill. They do this, they do that. And let me tell you something. You are literally making it worse. How do you say, well, I'm sorry, sir, but you have high cholesterol. You need to take Lipitor. Oh, but be careful, because it may hurt your kidneys. It may hurt this. It may harm that. Oh, so take this to combat that. No. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I just came back off a 10-day cruise. Went to St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and Antigua. I did go to Haiti and Puerto Rico and St. Martin, but I mentioned those three because those three islands have something in common. The tour guide said people here don't have the money to be running to the doctor.
Right.
So you see all these trees? That's what we do.
That's medicine.
We have learned how to use it. They use moringa. They have the noni. He talked about that noni tree for the longest. He said, let me tell you something. This noni tree, he said, we come up. He said, we make stuff with it. It's nasty. It is nasty, but you gonna get right.
Mhm.
And I believe him.
Mhm.
He took it and he said, now let me tell you, not only do you use this to help you feel better, but he took that long seed pod and he was shaking it and making music. And
Mhm.
I mean, it was a nice beat. We all was like, yes, yeah.
Mhm.
So he said, we got our entertainment, we got a little food here, and we got medicine. He said, here, people grow their medicine because we cannot afford to run to the doctor. They said the same thing in Antigua, St. Kitts, and St. Lucia. That stood out to me.
Francesca.
It reinforced me in my head. Continue doing your research. Continue doing what you're doing. I'm telling you, I'm going to be 60 years old in August. I got a little bit of arthritis, but when I went to the doctor, he talking about, why did you come? I said, well, I started having this pain in my knee. So we went, did the whole MRI thing. He says, well, you just started this pain? Yeah. He said, well, I could tell from the x-ray that you've had arthritis for years. I said, well, I just started having pain.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe that's because I'm into my natural herbs. And let me tell you something. There are days where I'm like, ooh, this stiffness. But ginger, lemon balm, there's a whole slew of natural things that I sip on that I consistently use. And that's why I honestly believe in my heart of hearts why my arthritis is not as bad as someone 10, 15, 20 years younger than me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm ingesting that natural stuff. And then think about it. The creator, why did he put it on earth?
Right. Right.
Just because it looked cute? No.
Nah.
Multiple use. Pretty, good for your body. Think about it. You take a tree and use the whole thing of the tree. There's a
Mhm.
reason for that.
Your
It's not
healing
just
is in your food.
That's right.
Mhm.
I'm trying really hard to continue down this road and to share it with as many people as possible because I'm a fan. I natural all the way, baby.
I
Let
want
me
to
take something synthetic. Let me take something synthetic from the doctors or something. You know what I do? I hallucinate.
Yeah.
I don't want that mess no more.
Right.
I don't know why my body can't take it. I will hallucinate. So I'm going with something natural that don't have no side effects that I can make myself. That, of course, is cost effective. Run on your backyard. How you got the toothache plant? Okay, you got a little ache. Maybe you bit down or something. Your tooth. Get that toothache plant, numb it, swish it. I'm good to go.
I have done that. I have done
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I
it's
want to
good
show y'all
moderation,
something. I
Francesca.
got
I
this
did it.
here. This is Jamaica natural black castor oil. Now, when I had my knee surgery, they was telling me don't put nothing on my knee. It might get down in there and infect it and all this other stuff. And I was like, shoot. I was like, all this stuff you giving me will make it worse. I started to put that on my knee. It got so soft and supple. And when all that glue came off, they looked at the stitching and they was like, your knee look real good. And I was like, yeah, I know it do. And he was
Hey,
like,
Tampa.
what you putting on it? And I was like, I didn't want to say nothing at first. Then I said, I ain't gonna lie. I've been putting some Jamaican natural black castor oil. And he leaned up. He said, keep doing that. I was like, thank you.
Yeah. That's
You,
good
you,
combination,
you only got
Francesca.
1% of the doctors that will tell you do what's right instead of
Yeah.
I got this medication for you. This gonna help you. And the thing to it is you paying for the medication, your insurance paying for the medication,
Yep.
and he's sitting up there happy because he's getting paid,
Yep.
but
And
you
he
still
gets a
in pain.
kickback. Well, my husband's doctor fired him. He has diabetes, and he went to him and he said, Marcus, your numbers aren't going down. What are we gonna do? He pulls that pad out. My husband left one day and he said, I got 4 prescriptions for one thing. That don't make sense. He said, why are you not trying to find out what's wrong? Why my levels are going up if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing? He fired him. He sent him a letter and said, you're not taking the medication, so I don't want you here. He wants people to do
That's
it because
great,
he gets a kickback.
You want that money?
He want that money. I'm like, okay, kickback, whatever.
They gave me
You know,
prescription for some pain. And so, you know, when you get the prescription, they give you the sheet about the medication itself. When I opened that thing, it was like an accordion. It was this long. I was like, oh, I won't be taking this. I said, it's got more side effects, and I don't even know if it's going to take care of my initial problem. I was
Right.
like, I don't, you know, the first thing I read, it said it may cause anal leakage. I was like, what? I was like, oh no.
It's like my daughter.
I was like, I don't think so. I told him, I called him back. I said, that's all right. I'll deal with my issue. I said, because I can't take this. It's got about 20 different other things on here too. I said, I don't have any of those issues. And I was like, I don't want them either. I was like, I'll get a second opinion. Went to the second doctor. He said, I don't know why he gave you that prescription. He said, don't take it. I said, baby, I'm way ahead of you. I said, I threw that away.
That's it.
It's like my daughter. My daughter makes a cream for eczema, and she makes it for a doctor.
Wow.
Yes, and it's
Good
all
for her.
It's all natural that she uses to make this cream.
I guess.
Excellent. I make an eczema cream too, so I'm super happy to hear other people are doing it. You know, the eczema cream that they sell, a lot of that will help, but it has a lot of other things in there. And you're like, what is this? And think about the cost. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah. So our sister said, but they have another prescription for the leakage, Miss Shirley.
I wasn't going to try to find out what it is. I was like, one thing at a time. I was like, no, I want a second opinion, okay? I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like,
I know that's right.
But,
I know that's right.
What I really wanted to talk about tonight, plus this is a good conversation. I'm loving every bit of this. But I know all of you have had somebody to tell you. That's why I'm trying to figure out what's all the hate. What's all the hating for? I don't understand this. And I know you guys have had people that come to you and say, I can't stand that person. Mm-hmm. And then you ask them why. And they can't give you an answer.
I don't know. I just don't like her.
Yeah, What you mean?
Yeah. What you mean you just don't like her? Did she say something? No, but she just rubbed me funny. How?
Right.
How?
Right.
What did that person do?
Yeah.
You know,
I had a woman tell me to my face, she said, I don't like you. And I was like, good, then I don't have to worry about you bothering me, right? Because, you know, I mean, I ain't never did nothing to this woman. I don't know this woman's from Adam's House Cat. And then later on, people said, she don't like you because other people like you. You know, you get along with everybody. She doesn't. And I was like, oh, that's a personal problem. You know, but I mean, she came over and told me, she said, I don't like you. And I was like, you know, cool beans. Like I said, I don't have to worry about you bothering me, you know, and she didn't.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
then they get mad at you because you like the person or you talk to the person or you ain't got nothing against the person. Then they want to get mad at you.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know, I have a homeschool network / daycare. And so I have children that are daycare and children that are school age. And I'm going to tell you, I listen to their conversation and I can tell when they are mimicking their parents or the adults around them.
All on the floor now.
And but they sometimes attempt to do the same thing. And I don't allow that. I just don't allow it. Why? I don't like her, Miss Quinny. She looking at me funny. Why she keep looking at me? Well, honey, how do you know she's looking at you? Because I see her. Well, that means you're looking at her.
Right.
Then they'll say, my mama said they shouldn't be looking at me like that. Your mother said that's how their parents act. Yeah. They walk around the store. If they catch somebody looking, they're like, what's she looking at? They're mimicking their parents.
Yeah.
And
well, so they not born that way. You know, they're like they said, racism and hatred. Kids are taught that. They're not born to know that. Just like fear. anything. They do it all because they have not been taught that. So unless they've been taught that, that's the only reason why they react that way. Because naturally, you don't have those issues when a child first grows up. A child will mimic you all day long. So as long as you're doing stuff that's positive, he's going to do stuff that's positive. You do stuff that's negative, he's going to pick. And the killer part about it, they know when to say certain things at the right time. They never say anything off color. If they were a group of adults and you repeated something and they'll say, that's not what I heard you say. You said so and so and so and so. They know exactly when to repeat certain stuff. So that's why they tell you, you don't talk around kids and say negative stuff about. If you can't say anything positive, like my mama said, don't say nothing at all, because her kid was sure enough tell it to somebody else.
Yeah,
you know, Francesca made a good point in the comments. She says there's no respect in our youth nowadays. You can't discipline, or nowadays it's abuse. And I want to just really,
that's a lie.
That I took a class. I was taking a class. It was every Thursday evenings, and they started telling us the class would be 6 weeks or longer. It ended up being much longer, but the class was assessing us as to how we respond to when children say something. So they started the class off by asking, what are our red buttons that we don't like? So one of mine is, what? When I ask you something and when I call your name, you say, what? They said we should not be upset if a child says that. They are now saying children should not be made to say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, please, yes, thank you, no, thank you, because we are putting on them how we expect them to act. And children need to know that they can express themselves freely. Now, while I do want my children that I raised, that I gave birth to, since they're grown, but when they were grown up, to speak to me freely, there are limits.
Yeah.
You can tell me how you feel, but you better be respectful.
Yes.
Now children are not respectful. I've had one little boy say to me, what? Excuse me, I'm talking to you. Honey, I'm talking to this parent right now, but I'm talking to you. What? What?
No.
He will even do this, not with just myself. He was talking to a parent, another child's parent. Miss So-and-so, she's talking to me, so she didn't respond. Hey, so-and-so's mom, do you hear me talking to you?
Oh,
so in this class, they're telling us we need to learn how to deal with that without telling them they're wrong. Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
I completely disagree.
So
you need to know as a child your boundaries, your limits. You're going to respect me. I'm going to teach you to respect me. And if you don't, your child is going to be suspended. And guess what? If you feel like you don't want to pay their tuition, then you could take your little happy, merry self, bye-bye, because there'll be another parent who appreciates what I'm teaching your children.
Right.
Well, Mike,
so you don't want the child to be respectful, but you want them to go out in the street so somebody beat them in the head because they didn't say no, yes, no, sir, whatever. Wrong. Every last one of my, and when my grandchildren come here, they better say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir.
Hey, Darfex.
And if they say anything else, I repeat myself until they say it correctly, and I tell them about it. Now, I believe in beating my children so nobody in the street have to do it.
That's the part right there. Is what we have to teach our children.
Yes.
You know, we have to teach ours, because these other parents or whatever, we have no control on what they do or what they say and how they raise their kids. But when you got your hand on your own child, that's the time for you to instruct and teach.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you know, back in the day, though, when my son's friends came over to my house, you had to show me respect when you walked through my door. If you had a hat on, that hat got to come off. You know, when you got in the hallway, them shoes had to come off before you could walk in the house. My son had a friend one day. He walked in with his hat on and his shoes on, and I can hear my son tell him, "Man, you can't come in here like that. You know, you in my house." And he looked at me like that. So when he stepped up was stepping out of the kitchen into the dining room, I was standing there, and I grabbed him by his shoulders and turned his little heavy behind around and said, "Get out.
That's it.
Get out of my house, and don't you ever come back in here until you learn some manners. You will not disrespect me in my own house." And I heard my son tell you, this is the rules when you walk through the door. Everybody else follow them. If you can't follow them, you can't be in my house. Get out. He
That's
never
it.
came back.
I
You know?
understand because back in the days, now you hear what I'm saying, back in the days.
Yeah.
Now we could do that. Back in the days, you were a part of the village that helped
Yeah.
raise that.
Yes, yes.
Raise that child. But now they have torn the village all apart.
Yep.
You don't have a hand in saying anything other than what's within your walls, within your confines.
Yeah.
You're right. Listen, you hit the nail on the head. Everybody wants to claim, don't touch my child, don't do this, don't do that. But let me tell you something. My sister and I walked from school and home. And on that way, if somebody saw us doing something we wasn't supposed to do, they had the right to put their hands on us, tap our little behinds, send us home. And guess what? Sometimes
Got it again.
was standing at that's right.
Got
Standing
it
at the
again.
fence, like, "Oh, you embarrassed me? You was out there acting a fool? Get in this house." And I got it again. And guess what? When my father came home from work, my mother was all happy and sweet to him. Little did we know, while we was doing our chores or whatever, she done told daddy. And before we went to bed, pop,
You
pop,
got
pop.
it again.
Now, here's my thing. At the time, you don't like it. You think, "Oh, they so mean, this and that." But you know what I realized? My parents were loving me.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were loving me.
Yes.
And I raised my children the same way. I told my girls, "I ain't your friend. I'm
Yeah.
your mother.
Yeah.
That's
Now, when
it.
you get older,
That's
then
it.
we'll be friends." And now my children are in their 30s, almost 40s. And guess what? We have a good laugh.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know the respect.
That's it.
Nowadays,
And
there
another-
is none.
And another thing Francesca was saying, a lot of times now that the kids are in front of the TV 24/7 because
Yes.
their
Yes.
parents put them down as a babysitter.
Yeah.
They
True.
to
True.
babysit these
That
kids.
that or iPad.
And
Yeah,
and these kids are learning all of this downtrodden from
Mhm.
their TV or the downpad
Mhm.
or they run a computer better than we can.
Yes.
Because you know what? Think about it. In the Cosbys, Claire and Cliff had their children in control.
Mhm.
When Vanessa went out drinking, okay, maybe they ain't spank her behind, but that's like, okay, what happened? "Oh, we was drinking, and then okay, we're gonna play this game so you can get it right next time." Now we knew the thing was they didn't want her to do it next time, but they taught her this is not good.
Yeah.
Right.
Sitcoms now, the parents are not
They
in
don't
charge.
care.
The
Mhm.
children are in charge.
Yes.
I don't watch that mess. I don't. Since when do children know more than parents? They don't have the benefit of life experience. My child can't tell me what it's like to be my age because you've never been my age.
Yeah.
But I've been your age, so
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Sister.
You-
Yeah, so our sister made a good comment. Can you imagine these children as adults?
Yeah.
That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
That's what I
And
worry about.
you know
let me
you-
tell you, I'm getting older, and I'm scared that one day, if they put me in a nursing home, I've seen the attitude of some of these folks that's
Right.
in nursing homes and assisted living places. They gonna give a fat flying fig Newton about your behind, and that scares me half to death because I was like, a lot of times when you go into some of these places, it's almost as if your family forget about you, like they send you there to die. Okay.
Mhm.
And you put your life in somebody's hands that you don't know whether they care about you or not. And I've seen people that's got mistreated in nursing homes. When my mom went into one when she got sick, I had to step up on a nurse. I was like, hold up, wait a minute, this is my mama. Okay.
Mhm.
And I went out there and told him, I said, give me another nurse. I don't want her to ever walk back in my mom's room again. Because my mom said she was rough with her. She was flipping her all kinds of ways, doing this, that, and the other. I was like, oh, I will catch a case about my mama now. Don't play me short now. And I was like, get me somebody else in here for my mama. And she didn't come back in there. And we walked past each other down the hallway, that side eye, like, oh, girlfriend, you don't do that. So that scares me. And that was, my mom been gone almost 18 years. They haven't gotten better. They've gotten worse.
Yes.
I'm scared that, in the next 20 years or so, I might go in there and I don't know what frame of mind I'm going to be in and how they're going to treat me because they figure that I don't understand or remember or whatever. So it's scary of the folks that you see out here now. They don't have any compassion. They don't have any respect.
Mm-hmm.
Not scared of anything. I mean, they're not scared of the police. They're not scared of the teachers. They're not scared of their parents. They don't have any self-respect or self-esteem. And with the social media, how these poor kids are committing suicide left and right at all ages. All ages, as young as 8 and 9 years old, killing themselves about what people then put on the social media about themselves. So you see how the system is just totally slowly going down the drain, and it's really scary out here.
Yes,
it is. I deal with children every day, and it is scary. I experienced something where a child was, I opened the door, welcomed the parent in. He had a tear in his eye, and I'm like, what happened? And then he didn't answer, but I saw what was happening. His son was poking him in the eye, and he was like, hey, bud, that hurts. He was like, I know, but it's funny. And he kept poking him in the eye. Wait, you'll do this to your dad at 4? No. What will you do when you're 7, when you're 10, when you're 14? If you don't nip it in the bud, what's going to happen? You're going to create
a big problem.
It's going to be a problem. Yeah. I just consider what Soil Sister said very seriously. These are going to be the future people who work in the stores, work in the hospitals, work in the offices. They don't want to work.
You're
they
right.
want things
right
away. Why do they have to? I mean, I asked the other ones, do y'all wash dishes at your house? My mama got a dishwasher. I ain't washing no dishes. What? My father told me, you are the dishwasher. Now get it.
That's it.
Taking out the trash.
And anything else that needed done, you go.
That's
exactly.
That's
exactly. Right. What is this? You making decisions and you don't work. Like I tell my children when I was raising them, what bill you paying in this house?
I know that's
okay. So you don't need a cell phone. Okay, you don't, because you don't have a bill. And all you're doing is getting on that bus, going to school and coming back. My daughter's friends my eldest daughter were so happy when she graduated from high school. It was a big joke. At her graduation party, we had her phone wrapped up in a box, turned on, already charged. And we had a big poster with the number. And we said, that's it, guys. She finally has a phone. And we were like, who's the first person to call her? Let's see. They were like, it's about time. I had even other adults say, you need to get them a phone. That's not right. All the other people got phones. Well, if y'all want to pay for a phone bill, go ahead. I'm not going to do it. Now, she will get a phone when she graduates. She's going to go to college and whatnot. I'm going to support her 2 years. Freshman, sophomore. Baby, junior and senior, you're going to work part-time and you're going to do it yourself.
Right.
You got to do it yourself. She did it. She's fine.
Let me clear something up. Jihad, we did not say, and we're not saying that all kids. We're not saying that. True, we got some good mannered kids. But what we are saying is that you have to do most of this training in home yourself.
Right.
You can't expect for the streets to teach your children manners.
Right, and they won't. And they won't.
They'll teach them, but it ain't manners. Yeah,
that's right. We definitely know it's not all kids. We know this. Because you can't get my grandkids even talk back to an adult.
Right.
you know, and two of them are grown, so I
You,
know they had some raising.
Yes,
you
they
know, like
did.
you said, pescatarian. Now, my grandson, if my grandson wasn't going all over this place, he wouldn't have a phone.
Mhm.
Like he just the school 4-H, they just took a day and a half off. Yesterday and today, he been gone. If
Nice.
he did, and then what? As soon as they get out of school, he's going to Stone Mountain. After that,
Okay.
they'll be in Florida.
Right.
And
So
this is
he
because
needs a phone. That's
because
a
he's in
need.
beta and 4-H. If he
Okay.
wasn't in all that stuff, all this after school stuff, he wouldn't have a phone.
Okay. Got you. Got you. I don't blame you. There has to be a need. Listen,
Right.
I've heard it all. I've seen it all. And you know, there are some good kids. For example, I used to have this something, this a group that I created called the Young
So
Lady
right, Francesca.
Society.
So right.
So I had this thing called the Young Lady Society, and I invited young ladies to join. We talked about manners. I bought them the Tiffany's Book of Good Manners. How do you eat soup? You don't slurp it. You don't do that. How do you sit? Things like that. And so one thing I do love is that these kids were the kids that wanted to do it stayed, those that didn't left. There were two girls, they were twins. And one day I said, I'm going to treat everybody to dessert. These girls were 13. They got on their phone and they said, Daddy, she wants to know, she wants to treat us to dessert. Is it okay if we accept it? I loved it.
Great.
I loved it.
Great.
You could tell they were trained. I
Yes.
see these girls now. 2 years ago, they graduated from high school, and I got an invitation, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be with the young people. They actually invited me to their little cowboy jean party, and I was there. And yes, it was a lot of young people there, but I felt good that they remembered me. They appreciated what I taught them. And I had never met their aunt. Their mother had passed, and I never met their aunt. And she said to me, I'm so glad I got to meet you. She said, because I really believe part of what you taught them is reason why they are the way they are now. You were part of the village. Thank you. I had never met the lady. So yes, teaching these young people now will help them. Some don't know because that's not what they see. But maybe you can make a little impact, make a little inroad. That's what I try to do every day, honestly. I try. I really do.
Well, if you treat a child like a dog, then the only thing they're gonna do is bark.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And is one other thing that I want to say before we get ready to get out of here. You know, you talked about being on a cruise just a little bit ago, and I know Miss Shirley have been on cruises, many of them. I don't know about Jed, but
Just a fishing boat.
okay, fishing boat. Anyway, it's a lot of you in the chat that have taken cruises, and the reason I'm even mentioning this is because you know when you're on a cruise, they got these different little clubs that you go to after dinner or before dinner and get your groove on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the majority of times, wherever they're really jumping and popping, the place is packed, but you squeeze on up in there anyway because it's that good energy coming out of there.
Yeah,
You know,
fun. Yeah,
that's right. It's good energy. It's not that. And then you go a little bit further and you see maybe 4 or 5 people in this one and you feel nothing but negative. You know,
Exactly.
You know, that's all you feel. So what I'm saying in so many words is you can feel goodness. You can really feel it. You can feel that energy. It feeds. It's just like they say, smile creates another smile. So what's wrong with smiling, people?
Nothing.
Stop all this hating going on.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
I wish the whole world could experience what we experienced last weekend.
Yes.
Man, it
I
was
wish
beautiful.
the whole world could experience that.
It was
Yes.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yes.
You know what? Last weekend was amazing. And being on River Street and just walking, I noticed so many people wanted to be in our pictures.
Right.
There were 3 women who did not know who we were for nothing. And they were like, "Oh, we'll get in." They all in the picture with us. So happy to be in the picture. Why? Because it's contagious.
Yeah.
If more people
Right.
would get it in their heads, wait a minute, I'm liking this. I'm feeling this. Maybe I should do this all the time. Smile. Hello,
Yeah.
how are you? I'm good. How are you? Oh, I like that. That's pretty. Thank you. I like yours too. Why
Yeah.
not? It's contagious. Just keep it going.
It was
And one
funny,
good thing
it
too
was
is
like, who are these people? What are they doing? Why are they all laughing? Why are they all smiling? Why are they hugging?
How you doing?
just think about it. The first time we all met, and they had the band out there and everything. Folks ain't had nothing to do with the Soul Fest. They came, they heard the
You're
music,
right.
they had everything going on. There were people out there that were not farmers, gardeners, anything, but
That's
after that, they're gardeners.
Yeah.
Yep. You
And
so
they
right.
come back.
Wait a minute,
And-
except that one
when
lady
you feel that,
who went to the flow, you know, the
Yeah,
one that was dancing.
when you feel that love, you ain't got no choice but to gravitate to it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, it's true. So true.
Okay, badass thing. Well, what we're gonna do, people, is we're gonna get ready to close this thing.
Okay.
But I definitely want to thank my panel tonight. I want to thank Miss Shirley OG, my sister, and PC, but now if she's your sister and she's your child, your daughter, then that must make her my niece.
Your niece. Your
Okay.
niece.
All right,
Okay.
then
I can call you Uncle Bammett now.
that's right. Then I want to thank my niece, PC, for being here. Jed, as usual, my main
Yes,
man.
yes.
And I want to tell you all, try to tune in Tuesday night at 7 o'clock if you can, because we have a mystery guest that will be there Tuesday night that I'm sure you all don't want to miss. I'm sure
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
Hey.
She's almost as good as PC, almost. But I'm going to say good night to all of you. Love you. And there ain't a thing y'all can do about it.
But love you back. Y'all be blessed now.
Right. Bye.
Good night, y'all.